what we're going to do is try to use punching to help our athletes become more athletic. We're going to try to teach her a new movement that incorporates a similar movement that she's going to have to do in basketball, which would be an example of throwing a pass, right? All of that motion should come from the hips, and then the hand should be the last thing that comes through. Well, in a punch, that's the exact same thing that happens. Well, also when we see in running and jumping, it's a counter rotation through the hips. And we want to start to train her to reflexively pattern that movement in, and all the while, she's going to get a great workout while she's doing it. But the first thing is to make sure that she's doing it correctly. So if Megan's going to go ahead and punch the bag here, right? Okay, now we're going to stop. This would be a very hand-dominant movement, right? Which is a lot of the way that we exercise and we isolate training movement patterns. And because we're so outcome-derived, we want to get to the end result of getting our fist to that bag. We tend to have the tendency to put our hands out there. Which what we really want to do is we want to rotate the body towards the bag, and then the hand comes out afterwards. And then what we're going to see is she's going to pull the rotation of the shoulder back, and she's going to rotate her hips as the hand comes out. The hand should be the last thing that comes out. This goes for every sport. The same thing for hitting a baseball, throwing a discus, anything that you want to talk about. The hips lead the motion and drive the upper body towards the direction that you're trying to go, which again with this, it's perfect because you're trying to hit a bag that's straight in front of you, which again, coming back to running, it's the same thing. You want to take that force and go straight down the line. You want all of that force going in the right direction. Well, how do you do that appropriately? Well, the first part is the hips are going to rotate the torso towards the bag, and as that happens, the punch is going to come out and be directed straight at the bag. And that's really, when you're looking at power and precision in punching or in movement with everything that you're doing, that is the quintessential concept of everything that we're trying to do and instill in our athletes. That's why punching is so great. That's why these punchers are so great, because it can protect them while they're learning how to do a movement skill that's going to ultimately take and improve their ability out on the playing field. What we're going to do again here is we're going to rotate the hips first, and then the hand is going to come out. Then the hips are going to rotate back in the other direction, and that's where you would typically see somebody throw their hook or throw another jab. So we're going to jab, rotate back, and cross rotate, counter rotate. And what you'll see in athletics and what you hear is, especially in baseball, the coaches will say, stay back, stay back. Yep, use your hips, use your hips. And I hear this all the time, and we'll talk to coaches about this. They're constantly saying, use your hips, use your hips. They know that it's important, but literally the kid doesn't know what they're talking about. So using something like this is a training tool to teach them how to rotate their hips into the things that they're doing, because if you don't, the punch comes out awkwardly, right? Because it has a target on the front, it allows the athlete or the person that's training to focus their attention on where they're supposed to hit. So they don't end up hitting like this, or they don't end up hitting the side. Well, all that comes from the fact that they're not using their hips. So when they use their arm to hit, the arm goes flying away from the body further. To get it to come straight out, the hips have to rotate correctly to get that punch to go straight down the line, and ultimately being able to hit this target with the front of the puncher.